What to look for when you are purchasing gloves. Gets me every time. Getting the right type of gloves when you are going skiing or snowboarding is so crucial because we want to make sure that you're comfortable on the mountain and not leaving early because your little nubs are freezing off. Nubs? So before you even consider purchasing any type of glove, the #1 feature that I absolutely think every person, no matter their skill level, needs to have is, wait for it, wrist straps. Okay, listen, it does not matter what type of gloves you purchase if you're gonna be losing them. And the #1 thing that you see on the mountain when you're on the ski lift, just like, oh, there's a glove. Oh, there's someone else's glove. Oh, there's another glove. You see them all the time. Don't let that be you. Get some wrist straps and you don't have to worry about holding them. When you are up on the mountain, you have so many other things going on. And if you always have to be tucking your glove under your chin or under your arm, you just get to have so many things happening that you will for sure lose your gloves. So just get one with some type of wrist strap. And it's so great because you just slip it around your wrist, and it makes it so that when you're up there and say you need to take your glove off, you need to take a picture, you need to adjust your bindings, you're not just losing it. Get you a wrist strap, it's crucial. Look, still got this glove under my armpit. Nobody wants that. You want to check the temperature rating on the gloves and make sure that it's going to cover the average temperature for the place that you'll be riding. So the biggest thing that I highly recommend that makes such a big difference is get a liner for underneath your glove or mitten, whether or not you use a glove or a mitten, which, oh, don't worry, we'll be covering that very soon. But I definitely recommend that you have some type of liner because there's going to be instances where you need to take your gloves off, you need to adjust your bindings, maybe you want to get your phone out, take a picture. So having that liner makes such a big difference. I feel like these gloves, these are North Face, they have been so good to me, but the liner is just like the key differentiator in me staying that much warmer on those cold, cold days. So get you a liner. No, okay. A lot of people wonder whether you should get gloves or mittens, and really it comes down to personal preference. The main thing with gloves is you have a little bit more dexterity because you can use all your fingers versus the mittens being in there all together. But the mittens actually keep your hands a little bit warmer because your fingers are together keeping them warm rather than the gloves being separated. So that's really the main difference, is just dexterity versus warmth. So really when it comes to choosing, it just kind of is personal preference. I've always been a glove gal, but for whatever reason I purchased mittens when I purchased my snowboarding gloves, and I have absolutely loved them. So really it's just up to you. Another thing you want to look for in your gloves is waterproofing. So leather is the kind of go-to for waterproofing, but it tends to be really expensive. So I've never owned a pair of leather gloves, but I've heard that they're great. But I've also heard that the synthetic rubber can be just as good and can sometimes be a little bit more durable also. So just a couple things to look into, but you do want to make sure that there's some type of waterproofing because cold, wet hands, worst thing ever. If you're just learning, the chances that your hands end up in the snow quite frequently are very high. So you might want to consider bringing an extra pair of gloves as a backup just in case, because again, the last thing you want is to have to end the day early because your hands are cold and wet. You know what I mean? No? Okay, just trust me, it's fine. And then you'll know whether your glove is meant to go on the outside of your coat or inside of your coat based on whether or not it has some type of Velcro or strap on the outside to kind of tighten it down. So if it has something like that, you're supposed to have your coat on, put your glove on over top of your coat, and then tighten it over top of your coat. So you can get the gloves that go inside your coat or outside. What I would say is this pair I have especially loved. I just tend to not want to be cold. I don't know, call me crazy, but I've loved this pair of gloves because it has a longer wrist length, and so I almost never get snow down my gloves, and I love it. So between my coat coming really far down and then my gloves going really high up, I'm totally covered. So that's a big thing to look for. One thing to consider, this sounds so disgusting, and as I'm about to say this out loud to you, I'm suddenly very aware of myself, but this has a nose wipe on the thumb, and I've used it a decent amount. Don't come at me, okay? Listen, my nose runs just like normal people, okay? So does yours. Don't come at me. But when you're on the mountain, sometimes your nose gets a little bit runny, and it's sure convenient. And I'm so glad it doesn't look gross right now. Imagine if there was just all types of snot on my glove. You're just like, no, no. Trust me, I'm not gross, guys, but it happens. And then another thing that some pairs of gloves have, wait for it. This is like a pass pocket, or you can use it for, oh look, there's actually a pass in here. That is really convenient. Not sponsored by Brighton, but I should be. But you can use this for a pass pocket, or some people will even put like hand warmers in there. So that's something to consider as well. Some goggles have a portion on there that you can use for a goggle wipe. Now, I have not been able to find any like exterior gloves that have the touchscreen capabilities. I'm telling you, someone needs to invent those. Come on, that's so inconvenient. But my liners have the touchscreen capability, so I can always just whip my little mitten off, use my phone, and then put it back on. So that is another thing to consider, because let's be honest, pick or it didn't happen, you know? When I first decided I wanted to try snowboarding, the most intimidating part of it was purchasing all of the gear and knowing what to get. So my hope with this video is to help kind of destigmatize some of the things and help to give you some good advice so you feel more confident when you are purchasing your gear. And let's be real, nobody wants cold hands, you know? Thank you so much for watching this video. Hopefully it was helpful for you and you feel a little bit more confident and you're going to purchase your gloves. I've gone ahead and picked out another couple of videos that I think you might like, and this one I took the top selling gloves on Amazon into a cryotherapy chamber to test. So just saying, you're definitely going to want to watch that one. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next video.